Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Wired Fish Podcast. Today with us is James C.
Hey, everybody.
Next, we have Anthony D.
Yo, huh?
After him is John.
Hi to the people.
And
You said say hi to the people, so hi to the people.
Hi to
Hello.
the people.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, myself, Stephen T. So we have two topics to talk about today. Hopefully, we have the time to talk about these two topics. But first up, we want to talk about something that sad happened. This week came the very sad news that LucasArts was closing down, courtesy of Disney. This was surprising.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is surprising considering that LucasArts was doing relatively well, save for that one Star Wars Connect game. But anyway, they had a new Star Wars game down the pipeline that was actually shaping up to be a pretty good-looking game. But other than that, LucasArts was one of the oldest game developers out there, almost as old as other defunct companies such as Factor 5, Psygnosis, who later then became Studio Liverpool, and Hudson. And LucasArts, they're known for games like Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, Maniac Mansion, Monkey Island, Grim Fandango, Indiana Jones, of course, from their film license, and the legendary Star Wars franchise, which that too spawned some very, very good video games back then. Think about Super Star Wars on the SNES, Shadows of the Empire for N64.
I love that game.
What else? Star Wars Starfighter. Remember that?
No.
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Woo!
Super Bombad Racing. Remember that one?
Woo!
No.
I don't.
And the other thing that's also pretty shocking about this one is that no one saw this coming. Personally, I thought it was going to happen to UTV Ignition, which UTV is now owned by Disney, and I thought that they were going to let them go, but surprisingly, no, they're still around. But LucasArts, one of the bigger developers out there, they're just gone, just like that. Everyone got laid off. There's no more LucasArts. So
nobody saw it coming, but at the same time, it's not like you've been seeing much coming from LucasArts recently, anyways. Like when I mean, extremely successful, big name stuff. You don't hear that from them anymore. It's more about, like you said, the older games that they pushed out. That's where their legacy kind of came from. So while no one saw it coming, it's not because right now they're really fantastic, and it's like, oh, why did they just shut them down? It's just the fact that it came out of the blue.
Yeah.
That's really it. Because LucasArts, I'm not saying that they were bad or anything right now. It's just, I think, compared to their earlier titles and their reputation from back then, they just haven't been very, or at least their presence hasn't been felt very much, nowadays in this current gen.
A lot of their good stuff went to Telltale, like Sam and Max started with Hit the Road, which was a LucasArts game, I'm pretty sure.
It was.
And pretty soon they found their way to Telltale, and the same thing happened with what was the other? Monkey Island.
Monkey Island.
So their good properties found other homes basically.
yeah, but it's a wave of companies just simply closing down, and some for no reason, some you can see coming, kind of like THQ. We talked about that in an earlier podcast last season.
But see, that's the thing. This I could see happening more than THQ, in my opinion. Not saying that one is, should have been taken down more than the other. But again, at least with THQ, you've seen a lot of their games this gen. You see Darksiders and you see Saints Row and things like that. And okay, you feel that they're around. LucasArts, I didn't feel that. I haven't felt that in a long time. Not that I've played a lot of their games, but regardless, their name was big back in the day. And now, like, I hardly heard anything of it recently. So I could see why they would close down the studio. Not that I approve.
Then again, didn't they have Star Wars: The Force Unleashed?
They did have that 1 and 2. They did 2 of those.
And they had that one. They had, even though this isn't really LucasArts involving, directly involved, but that's the Old Republic.
Yeah, but then that's not LucasArts, right? That's just the Star Wars franchise.
It's BioWare, isn't it?
It's BioWare.
Yeah. So I wouldn't count that, because then you could count anything that just has Star Wars in it. I'm not saying, the presence of Star Wars is always around, and they're bringing that back, but the presence of LucasArts is a different story. And while it's sad news, I can see why they would shut it down to try to pool their resources and put them into put their attention and focus into other things, since I guess they haven't been seeing much come from that game studio in recent times. Still sucky, but I'm sure there's reasoning behind it, even though they haven't mentioned it.
This also does sort of go back with the whole, with Disney, whatever Disney gets, they gobble. Like, it's happened before where they would see something lucrative, try maybe something with it. If nothing goes good, closed.
You're scaring me, because it sounded like they're becoming EA.
Well, remember what happened with the Split Second publisher? I thought they were planning on a sequel and everything, but they got shut down by Disney.
And some could say it's a coincidence, but right after Disney got Marvel, bam, Spectacular Spider-Man, that cartoon ended. No new season. They left you on a cliffhanger. I was extremely pissed off at Disney.
But here's the thing, though, and I was talking to John about this before recording. Marvel, they're doing it pretty damn well with Disney. It looks like Disney's not really messing around too much with any of Marvel's properties. If anything, it seems like Marvel's only getting better.
Well, I wouldn't. It's hard to say. It's obvious to say better. Like,
think about the movies. The Avengers.
But that was even before Disney, though. That they had the stepping stones in place and they were building up to that. Disney, I don't see really having as big of an influence, and like, oh man, now Marvel's doing so much better because of Disney. It's more that Marvel was starting to get on the right track and they were doing well, and bam, Disney comes in because they like what they're seeing and they want a piece of the pie. But they've been setting up for that Avengers movies, that movie for years. Started with the first Iron Man movie. So they were setting that up. Just Disney came in, and I'm sure with Disney there, they push better marketing and things like that. But the end product is still Marvel. They're making some of the business decisions. Like I said, with Spider-Man, they probably said cut that Spider-Man out, get a new cartoon in to, things like that. They're probably messing with stuff on the side. But
I think. Oh wait, never mind. I was about to say maybe it must be Sony, but they only have the license for the movie.
So they're probably just they're messing with things here and there, making sure certain things follow along. Like, oh, we want to make sure we have a cartoon going simultaneously with the movies. We want the comics to be more similar to the movies to keep the audiences the same and whatnot. But I don't think the movies themselves. I think they're letting Marvel do their thing and just reaping some of the benefits for helping them out.
But then I also think, and point taken, by the way, but then I think about how Disney sort of handles some of Saban's old properties. Remember Saban?
Yeah.
Saban came back big time, and they took back Power Rangers.
That they did.
And many people call, Disney-era Power Rangers probably some of the worst Power Rangers they've seen in the longest. And a lot of Ranger fans say that it's probably one of the worst they've ever seen. And Saban took back Power Rangers, and now I don't want to say it's better, but it's definitely a step up from what Disney was doing, because Disney was sort of trying to go for like that, what do you call it, that very almost goofy kind of setup, very kid friendly kind of thing. Did you see what they did to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they rebooted that one?
Wait, they rebooted it? What do you mean?
Yeah, they basically they took the old, recording footage, from way back in the I think like late 80s, early 90s, or early 90s anyway. And they started putting all over the place freaking comic book style onomatopoeia. Think about it, like if say Bulk gets a pie in his face, you see the words splat just go across.
Oh god.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was like, what the hell is this, Disney?
Oh wait, but
what
it was a
this?
reboot, or they were re-airing it and they just edited some things? Because when you say reboot, I was like, whoa.
Well, it felt like a reboot. I mean, it wasn't an entirely new cast. They're still using the same footage, but they were just editing in like different things here and there. Everything is now in HD. They had a new intro, even though it was the same music. They had like a different intro sequence.
Okay.
And it kind of it felt like a slap in the face. So Power Ranger fans that grew up with it. I mean, yeah, it's great that the little kids, the smaller kids will see it, from around then. But it's just so odd how they handle it, and to make matters worse, they completely skipped over a Power Rangers type, because the Power Rangers, how usually the Power Rangers sort of 1 year behind. Like, say for instance, if we see Japan have the Samurai, we're going to get Samurai a year later.
Okay.
We never got that. At least under Disney, we never got that. So we're now 2 Rangers behind. And the reasoning why they didn't choose to do Power Ranger Samurai was because it was very Japanese inspired. Like, there was kanji on their helmets and stuff like that.
But
and
wait, but they did do Samurai, didn't they?
Under Saban.
Yeah, they did do Samurai.
But Saban brought it here, not
Saban was the one that brought it. Because Disney has this mindset. Their mindset is almost oddly similar to old Nintendo or old video game companies way back in the 80s, where like if something seemed a little too far and they'll try to make it super local. Like instead of a rice cake ball, they'll have a sandwich.
Or a donut.
Yeah, or a donut. So that's something that that they would probably do. And they see Japanese Samurai. Oh, we can't do this one then. So they chose not to do it. And it's just Disney, give or take, maybe their cartoons are great. Maybe in our childhoods their cartoons were great, but the business of it all with Disney is just it's predatory. It's very predatory. And I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but Disney's one of the reasons why so many people end up leaving YouTube or getting taken off of YouTube. Yeah.
Why? Because of like copyright infringements or something?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, that's why for pre-recorded viewers, I might be careful with that. I'm putting B-roll for Disney stuff. I might just leave it alone.
Quick, somebody do a Mickey Mouse impersonation.
Oh, you're talking shit about me, huh? What are you doing in there? Don't make me get my get out.
Sadly, you sound like one of my coworkers.
Your coworker is Mickey Mouse?
For some reason, one of my coworkers randomly decides to try to do a Mickey Mouse impersonation sometimes. So you just gave me a flashback. Oof.
Like, stop looking at your ass, Pluto. I don't know how I can do it. I can do a great Mickey. I can't do any Goofy. I can't do Goofy. I can't do Donald. But
thankfully, you shouldn't have to.
I was thinking, what other LucasArts games you guys played back then? Now think about it.
Well, I wasn't really too much into LucasArts. I played a couple of games. I got my ass kicked in Maniac Mansion, and that's about the most I did. That and Sam and Max Hit the Road. That was a great one.
Did you ever blow up the hamster in Maniac Mansion?
If I did, I don't recall. It's been so long since the last time I played.
I don't know. That sounds like something you wouldn't forget.
Well, I'm sure I've seen it like on YouTube or something, so I don't know if I did it.
Well, you can still do it in the NES version. It's just cleverly hidden.
Yeah. I just don't want to like say I did it, like when it's really a false memory from something I witnessed on YouTube.
True.
Now, I remember Maniac Mansion has some kick-ass music though, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sadly, I think I told you before the podcast, I've only played one LucasArts game, which was Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I played it on the N64, but I had a surprisingly fun time with that game, actually.
I think I have a copy. We should race one day.
We should. It's actually pretty fun, and I remember you could upgrade your ride. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just good times. So I know I got frustrated a couple of times. I don't remember what track since it's been so long, but there were times where I was ready to punch the TV screen.
Oh, damn.
But aside from that, you know, I have fond memories of that game.
Okay.
And I think you made me try a game at your place once. I don't know if it was Super Star Wars, but
It might have been.
I think it was.
Wait, was that LucasArts?
Was it? That was the one you were running left to right, right? And it was like through some desert, and you were. Yeah.
That
so
has to be Super Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah, so I did try it at your place.
It's the one with the lightsaber, and if you jump, you do like a spinning attack, like Zero.
Yeah, I think that's the one. 'Cause I know I played one at your place. And
and I played a few more too then.
Exactly. Huh.
Damn,
Have you guys played that one on the PlayStation? I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it has like I can't remember the name of it. I think it was just like Episode 1, where you can play as like different Jedi, and you have to go. It's like a top-down 3D game.
I haven't played that one, sadly.
Oh man.
Be thankful you haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Damn.
How about that Star Wars fighter, Masters of Terraskasi? Terraskasi?
Is it Terracotta or is it Terracrace? No, Terracrace is Suikoden. Wow.
I miss Suikoden, but continue.
Me too.
Terracotta. Pre-recorded viewers, that's the name of it on the screen. That's the name of it. but yeah, I remember the Star Wars fighter. Wasted opportunity.
Aww.
I didn't even know they had a fighter. Well, it's just like, you know, one-on-one lightsaber duels, or?
Yeah, it's one-on-one lightsaber duels.
Huh.
It's so weird though, like the way it's done. 'Cause like the way the fighting in that one is very gentlemanly. At least with the announcer, he's like Luke Skywalker versus Han Solo. Fight. Like everyone shake hands. And now, duel to the death with these dangerous lightsabers.
Now, for some reason, when you say Star Wars like fighting game and it's a lightsaber game, no less, I'm kind of seeing it being played like Bushido Blade, where you have your lightsaber and you like bam chop off somebody's arm, and you're going for the kill.
That a game? Now,
that would be so awesome.
That's what should have happened in Soul Calibur 4.
That would have been sick. That's how I picture a lightsaber match.
But one game I did remember, at least from LucasArts, was Star Wars Starfighter, because I had it on a demo disc, that famous demo disc that I talked about early in the season, and I was addicted to that game. Like, it felt like a mix of Star Wars with a little bit of Ace Combat, and I wanted so badly to get the game, but I didn't have enough money to get it, nor did I see it easily. And then I see, oh, they had a sequel called Jedi Starfighter. I'm like, oh, snap. I gotta get that. I gotta get one of these Starfighter games. Never happened. And now I feel even worse because I'm like, damn, I really wanted to play that game. And it got some good ratings. Like, across the board, it was getting some very good ratings. And, you know, I kind of missed out on it. I have a feeling now that price is probably going to go up now that LucasArts is gone.
Then get it now, before the news spreads. You still got time.
I don't think so. I think it's pretty big news by now.
It's big news by now. Oh, come on. It's almost it's even bigger than when our Studio Liverpool closed, man. We're getting no more Wipeout games.
Yeah, that is pretty sad. And Wipeout's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that intro to 2013, my God, man, that makes me want to get a Vita for that game.
I don't know
still
what
get the
Sony
Vita.
is.
Don't know if you're getting the game though.
Wait, well,
What?
that game did come out, right? That Wipeout.
2043?
I don't. Yeah, that one.
Oh, you put the random year. I was thinking about the Star Wars game. Never mind.
Oh no! LucasArts didn't make Wipeout. It'd be crazy if they. Oh, wait, well, they kind of did do a Wipeout game. It's called what Anthony played.
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Woo!
No, but remember you were talking about Star Wars like 31 something?
Oh, you were
or-
talking about Wipeout.
Oh no, but
you were
the other one, the Star Wars game with the year, Star Wars 1313,
something. That's what I confused it with.
2313.
Uh-huh.
Some year, pre-recorded viewers. That's the name of the game. We're forgetting our names. How could we? But that one, if I read this, I think I may have read on Kotaku, I believe, or yeah, I think I did. But the game was gonna have Boba Fett be the main star.
Which game?
Oh, damn.
The Star Wars.
The one that they
year.
were working on right now, you mean? Before they
Yeah.
closed? Uh-huh.
Mhm. So now that they're closed, they can actually release all that concept art. And now we're seeing even more of what they had planned, and Boba Fett was going to be the star of the game. And Boba never really had a game. I think the closest one was probably Republic Commando, but even then. And I think also some Star Wars bounty hunter game. Now that they're closed, we're never going to see it, or if we see it, it's going to be by a different developer.
Woof.
That sucks.
And yeah, that's the other thing. Those two games they did get straight up canceled. Like when LucasArts closed, all what Disney said was, one, they're closed. Two, all projects that was under LucasArts canceled. So if they had Star Wars, Day of the Tentacle, maybe some Grim Fandango reboot, dead. They can't work on it.
Assholes.
I mean, shit, man. I mean, some of those adventure games would be right up Disney's alley. I don't know why they would close down LucasArts. I mean, think about Sam and Max.
Yeah.
Looks like a Disney
But they can't do it now.
Yeah, Telltale has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they can't do that or Monkey Island anymore. They're gone.
Well, does Telltale own the property, or did they just license it from LucasArts?
That's a good question.
Huh.
That's a
I'm
good
tempted
question.
to check, but I'm not. I don't want to do anything to my chat client.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, who knows? But it seems now that they're doing that new Star Wars movie trilogy thing, maybe that's where they want all their attention going to, in regards to Lucas in general, Lucasfilms, and all that jazz. It sucks.
They probably want games based on the Star Wars universe they're making up then.
But then even so, if they did, why get rid of LucasArts?
Yeah, that would have been stupid.
Yeah, they could cancel the projects and start from scratch on the new stuff, but I don't know.
Unless they want to hire an all-new team.
Okay, I pulled up their page. Telltale Games is an independent digital publisher founded in June 2004 as Telltale Incorporated, based in San Rafael, California. The studio includes designers formerly employed by LucasArts. And many are released episodically, so we're up to Cool Euroso, Noble's House. Includes Sam and Max, Homestar Runner, Monkey Island, Back to the Future, and The Walking Dead.
So basically, a lot of ex-LucasArts staff ended up moving on to Telltale then.
And that's good for them, but I feel bad for the other guys.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll offer them some jobs.
Let's see. I mean...
Even though, they weren't in the adventure game crew, so... They were doing all these MMOs and stuff, so I'm not sure how that would pan out.
Yeah, but they could have always, like, LucasArts. I mean, and then again, you get all that pressure from the higher-ups. It would have been nice to see them to try to do another one of those adventure games. Yeah, either reboot an old one that Telltale didn't have, that don't have right now, or try something new, just because Telltale shows there's still an audience for that. And with the reception that their games get, people would be willing to, everybody keeps talking about, like, The Walking Dead one, and, Back to the Future was really good, and, I mean...
They got that new one coming out, it's based on a comic or something? They got some new series coming out, along with The Walking Dead Season 2, shit, what was it? I forgot the name of it. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
But the point is, the games are selling. You do. So it would have been cool to see LucasArts try to go up there too and share that audience, share the market with them. But that's not going to happen either.
Well, because that was sort of the new LucasArts. They weren't probably the people who worked on the old adventure games, but they're probably the newer LucasArts that worked on like Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and
I guess, but
all
you
those
never know.
other games.
You never know. Some people might have still been behind. I mean, I don't know if all the adventure dudes went on to form that company, but
Well, was there use for them when they stopped making adventure games?
who knows?
Ah.
They might have branched out and decided to do something new. Hence all these other games.
Well, Telltale.
No, not Telltale. They didn't.
Well, they
branch
could have
out
gone
and do
on to
something
do that.
They stood with the adventure franchise, but maybe some other employees who did adventure games started working on different games. The people who stood with LucasArts.
Oh, you mean the games that we'll never know about because they're just like canceled on the side?
Well, not canceled. I just mean like they stood. They didn't.
They stayed working, but
they stayed working at LucasArts, but instead
they
of
didn't
doing
get
adventure
anything out.
games, yeah, they worked on all the other stuff LucasArts did.
Mhm.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm looking further in the Wikipedia page, and right now, LucasArts, their only purpose they'll serve now is a licensor. Like that's all they'll be doing. So, if there's a Star Wars property, they'll just be the licensor, and I think they'll still use the LucasArts name, but that's it. It's just the name. There's no entity to it. It's kind of like Atari. It's like Atari. There's really, I mean, that the Atari of today is not the same Atari from back then.
Huh. Well, Atari's a publisher now, right? Or are they just licensors?
They just do DBZ games.
Yeah,
I thought they had other
regardless,
stuff.
Yeah, but what do they? Because I've played some of the Atari DBZ games, but I'm not sure if they just published it, if they actually were the ones who developed it.
No, they're publishers. They're
Just published it?
most definitely they're not developers.
Well, that's a step up from LucasArts then. They're just handing out licenses. They're not even on the publishing side of the spectrum.
Yeah, Disney's gonna handle the publishing duties.
Ugh.
So it's a tough fate. What's gonna happen with that? And one thing I also discovered on here that I kind of forgot. LucasArts was also the publisher, I believe, for the Mercenaries games.
The Resident Evil Mercenaries games?
Oh no!
Oh,
The one with the guy with the mohawk. Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. Remember that one?
No.
Cannot say that I do.
What about Mercenaries World in Flames?
No.
This is kind of where I was going at earlier when I said that I didn't feel the presence of LucasArts.
Wow.
Because I haven't heard of this series at all.
What about Lego? What about Lego Star Wars? That was pretty funny.
What?
That was LucasArts?
Yeah.
Well, do they do all the Legos game, or did they just?
I think they were publishers, but they did have a developer doing it.
But see, because that's the thing, because I can't really count that as LucasArts then, because they're there obviously for the source material, and I guess the publisher because it's a Star Wars, tie-in game. I mean, it's the same thing. They had the Angry Birds Star Wars, and they're there too, but I doubt they're the ones who actually developed the game.
Rovio probably did that.
Yeah. The Lego series itself happens to be very popular with its formula, so I can't really lump that in. They just love doing things with established, popular franchises. Yeah, you have that. You have the Lego Batman. You have the Lego Indiana Jones. You have Lego Lord of the Rings. You got that new one, Lego
The Undercover.
Oh my God,
That's not even a franchise.
I know
that.
Undercover. Oh my, I want to play that.
But that's cool because it's now. I like that it's not an established franchise. It's like now they're trying to do something, without needing to get an audience that's already, hooked on a franchise. It's like, all right, Lego Batman. Well, we know there's a lot of Batman fans, so we have, this one they're doing something themselves, like full on their own characters and their own thing, and so I'm happy about that because I played Lego Batman, and that was actually.
How was it?
It was really fun, actually. I played it with Mr. Jimmy Wong himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did co-op. So
They have co-op in those games?
yeah, you have 2-player co-op.
What?
Yeah, you could switch characters on the fly. You unlock characters as you're playing. So 1 second I could be Batman, you could be Robin. The next I'm Nightwing and you're Catwoman. And different characters have different powers too within the levels. So
Well, shit, if the Wii U game has co-op, that's another reason to get it.
Hell yeah, the Lego games, they're simple, but they're fun. And, and they're part beat 'em up, too. It's just, they try to be kid-friendly. When you beat somebody up, they, like, burst into blocks, rather than there being blood. And, the comedy is very, again, kid-friendly, but that's the appeal. It's still a fun, nice game to just get through. So, yeah, the Undercover Cop one, geez, that thing sold out at my Target, like, the day it came out. So, like, everybody was over that one. But yeah, not to sidetrack, but yeah, back to the point. So I don't really count that as being part of, LucasArts' presence.
Yeah, Lego's not LucasArts.
Yeah, Lego is Lego.
The license was.
Yeah.
Star Wars. One other thing, I don't know if you guys play this, but you also know Secret Weapons over Normandy?
No.
Do I have to repeat what I just said a few minutes ago?
Take that as a no, then.
No.
Damn, am I the only one here that plays flying games?
Shoot.
Yes. Well, I do have an Ace Combat game I got when it was on sale at Newegg.
Oh, yeah, Assault Horizon.
Yeah, Assault Horizon.
Oh, okay then.
So that'll be like my first flying game when I get to it.
I get it. Technically, though, couldn't you count Pilot Wing?
Yeah.
Well, it's a flying game without combat.
But he didn't say flying combat.
Well,
he just said flying game.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's a flight simulator with mode 7 porn.
But yeah, he didn't say flight simulator. You just said flying game.
Okay, fine. I correct myself.
Aha.
Flight simulator with combat. It'll be my first.
Though it's arcadey though. So if you played Afterburner, it's like Afterburner mixed with Flight Simulator.
I could take that.
So yeah, but since we're talking about Lego City Undercover, and it being the Wii U, let's actually go into some next gen talk. That's the other thing we wanted to talk about. With the comments that Microsoft made, or at least the creative director of Microsoft made.
Oh, Mr. Deal with it. I forgot his name, so I was gonna put it between his first and last name, but
his name is Adam Dimnitzer. No, it's Adam Orth.
Okay, Adam Deal with it Orth. Gotcha.
Adam Deal with Orth.
Shoot.
So yeah, always online DRM. It's reared its ugly head twice and has shown the horrors of such a practice with Diablo 3 and SimCity. Remember that shit?
Well, I remember D3. I wasn't stupid enough to get SimCity.
So yeah, the creative director of Microsoft, Adam Orth, came forward saying that he didn't understand the drama surrounding online DRM and effectively telling people on Twitter to deal with it.
Exactly.
Yep.
He's saying it's the world we live in now, that everything is always on anyways. So why make a big deal about the new console? Well, not specifically, but just why make a big deal about something always being on when everything is always on, according to him.
Shall I read his tweets verbatim?
Go for it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So his name on Twitter is Orthy. How cute. And it's at Adam Orth. So here's what he says. He says, "Sorry, I don't get the drama having an always on console. Every device now is always on. Though that's the world we live in. Hashtag deal with it."
Deal with it. Deal with it.
And so then afterwards he says, "I want every device to be always on." To which then someone comes in and says, "Off the top of my head, I know 5 people," and this is by a Twitter user, Alex Wells. I know 5 people who own 360s who currently have no access to the internet. They would be screwed. To which Orthy comes in and says, "Those people should definitely get with the times and get internet. It's awesome."
Damn.
To which another one, Manveer he says, "Did you learn nothing from Diablo 3 or SimCity? You know some people's internet go out, right? Deal with it is a shitty reason." To which Orthy comes back with the most boneheaded of retorts, which he says, "Electricity goes out too."
Oh.
I'm like, what? And then he comes in, he further on and says, sometimes electricity goes out. I will not purchase a vacuum cleaner. The only mobile reception in the area I live in was spotty and unreliable. I will not buy a mobile phone. I read that horribly, by the way. My grammar was completely off. But basically, you know, he was being all snarky and shit, and I'm like, yo. And then I don't have the tweet up, but he even talked about people who live in rural areas, you know, like the countryside, and telling them maybe they shouldn't be living there. Right? I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
He's getting less people. Wait, what were you saying? Sorry to cut you off.
He's a high standing guy. He has a position in Microsoft. He's the creative director of the company, and most likely has his hand in the next Xbox. And he's talking about this, you know, always on. You should just deal with it and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, come on, guy. I mean, one, he all but confirmed that the Xbox is probably going to be online anyway. So if I was him, I would have shut the hell up. Because if I'm replying to these guys, it's the same as a confession. And right now, I mean, Microsoft, I mean, they're digging themselves into a really deep hole. You know?
Well, you remember this generation. I started with the 360. I think Tony did too. And that's our sentiments. I haven't powered on my 360 in probably 2 years now, maybe 3 years.
Mine is hidden downstairs on the far side of the house, in the closet, underneath like boxes and clothing.
We switched to PS3 and never went back, and they're not really calling us back either.
If they did, I'd hang up the phone. I don't want to deal with that.
And I know for me, I know with me, I mean, we do have a 360 in the house, and right now I'm actually able to own one of them now. But
do you really want to, Steven?
That's the thing. I don't know if I want to. I have a PS3 and a Wii.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the 360 does have some pretty good games on there that I want to try out. Particularly, what is it? Metro 2033. You know, I do want to try that out. I wonder. There's a few.
Oh wait, James, do we have that game? Or we don't?
We have the first Metro game from Metro the THQ Bundle, right? Yeah.
Metro 2033. The sequel is Last Light.
Oh, so we got it.
Last Light was first. Okay, I was confused.
But the thing is that, you know, the reason why that's been freed up is because, for some reason, okay, obviously the first 360 red ringed. The second one, which, you know, all these are owned by my sister. The second one now, for some reason, it won't pick up her hard drive. Like, she'll turn it on. Sometimes it'll pick it up. Sometimes it won't. I mean, it's like playing Russian roulette. Will it work? Will it not? I don't know. Will it kill my 360?
Shit. The worst part is they use that unorthodox hard drive instead of one you could like buy at a store and easily replace. So you got to find like a good retailer to get the special 360 hard drive.
Yep. And the shit is that at one point that 360, not the current one, the one with the hard drive problems, they actually red ringed on her once.
Oh.
And she was like, "What the fuck?" And then later on, she turns it on and it worked fine. And
well, the red ring sometimes comes. Like I had one, I was freaking out once, and then I realized it was because the video inputs weren't in properly, so it actually had a red ring.
Yeah, but it was only maybe 1 or 2 quadrants get lit up. If 3 quadrants get lit up, then that's a problem. That's the red ring of death.
Oh.
With her, it was full-on red ring of death on her.
Oh.
And then later on, it turns out it worked. And she was like, "What the fuck?" But then she was like, "You know, I'm not going to fuck around," because she plays a lot on that 360. I mean, the PS3, you know, it stays with me. The 360, it stays with her. She has people on the 360 as well. Yeah. So, you know, she has her reasons to own it. So, you know, she ended up getting the 360 Slim. Because she had to, you know, she needed a new console. Because she just was not gonna, you know, kind of play with her own account like that. And some content, which is a scary future when you think about it, some content is tied to her account. Not only tied to her account. Well, actually, no, that's a good thing. But sometimes not only is it tied to her account, it's also tied to the console.
The console's bad. That's what Nintendo either used to do or still does.
They still
I don't
do.
like console. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about the Wii U. I know the 3DS still does it.
Yeah, it still does.
But
I don't like that. Yeah.
So she needed to get a Slim, and the Slim is much better. It loads a lot faster. It's much more quieter. The fucking power brick is no longer as heavy as a boulder.
Yeah, I have the Slim. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I never use my 360 anymore. Like, I got my PS3, and yeah, I never really looked back. Like a couple weeks ago, out of curiosity, I turned on my 360. I had to update it. I was like, wow, everything changed.
And they downplayed that disc channel. You saw that shit?
Hmm?
To play your games, like, it used to be this big square in the old dashboard, and then now it's just this little square in the upper left corner. I'm like, wow.
They made it specifically for like Kinect users, so you can feel like, oh hey, I'm sliding through things using my Kinect. Ooh.
Well, the PS4 is getting something like a Kinect.
At least you're not waving your hands.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a dashboard that uses it, but it has that special looking eye that's a lot thicker than the regular PlayStation eye.
But it does look like the PS4 might be setting itself up good. But we do have criticisms levied on the PS4 as well. I think we talked about it once, either in a test podcast or something else. But we do have our own criticisms on the PS4 as well. And we do certainly have criticisms on the Wii U, or at least James might, since he's the only one with the Wii U.
I'm the only person with the Wii U.
Yeah, so any criticisms that might be happening, he's the current person that can talk about it right now.
It needs more games. That's all I gotta say. I haven't had much stuff to play except for Zombie U. I gotta wait for friends to come over for New Super Mario Bros. And Nintendo Land. I don't want to play that with myself either. So it's either when my sister comes over to fuck up my score, or if the guys come over, we can play the 4-player games or something. That's my only chance for Nintendo Land, even.
Ouch.
And another thing also that kind of concerns me with the 360, or not 360, the new Xbox, is that it's going to require Kinect.
It's going to require Kinect?
Yes.
Oh wait, is it going to come with Kinect, or do you have to buy it on the store?
Okay.
Yes, it'll come with that. I think it's going to come with that and the controller, but now the Kinect is required, and you have to have it connected and on. God, I hate saying that word a lot. Connected and on. Connect. Fucking hell. So you're gonna have to have it on, and I believe that's the way you log in. Like, it'll see you and you log in. It scares me though, because and that's one of the reasons why I think when my sister, she was playing and she had the Kinect on, she was thinking, and I think it might be true, that sometimes that thing can be seen through Microsoft to see how many people are like playing a game. It'll look through the Kinect to see how many people are playing, how many people are in front of the TV, how many people are watching a movie. I mean, it's creepy marketing, or at least market research. It's like, no. She opted out by unplugging that thing and continued gaming the way like normal. So she was like, "Fuck that shit! I ain't having that Kinect like that." And if that's going to be a future on 360, I mean, it's scary when you think about it.
Well, it's not scary because nobody's going to buy the system and they're going to fail miserably.
But
or at least I hope that happens.
But then again, the PS4 I think might require the eye as well for the controller. So hopefully there's an opt-out feature to have the PlayStation Eye disabled, or I can unplug it and still play my games without hassle.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, Sony confirmed that their console, you don't have to be always online to play your games. They
keep going. I just have a terrible idea. I'll tell him in a second.
Okay, keep that thought in there. So, Sony confirmed, or at least strangely confirmed, that, the PS4 is not going to have, you don't have to always be online to play your games. You can play it offline if you want. whereas the 360 says, "Oh, you're going to need it on, so that way you can use our excellent features."
Damn. But I was gonna say, I hope like they don't have that always on thing for the camera on the PS4 because like let's say I'm watching porn and I'm jacking off or something and I accidentally click the share button. You know, I don't want me touching myself all over YouTube or the internet.
Oh, come on. Maybe you can incorporate that into your live stream.
Well, it will be on a live stream, but not the way I want it to be.
Oh God.
It'll be a live stream of sorts, but ew, never mind.
Yeah. Not that kind of stream.
Oh God, that reminded me of Lord Cat. Remember what happened to him one time?
No?
Nah, Lord Cat. He was doing a live stream, I think, of either a podcast or gameplay,
Yeah.
and he forgot to turn off his mic. He thought he went off air.
Yeah.
He forgot to turn off his mic though, so it still stayed on air.
Uh-huh.
And the mic caught him jacking off.
That sucks.
And everybody was listening in, and they were like, "Is he wanking?"
But so wait though, he started doing that right after he finished recording.
Oh no! Not right afterward.
Okay, I was gonna say like, all right, I just finished that session. It's time to start a new one, and
he's like, "Oh, finally, I'm done. Let me open up X Hamster." Wap.
damn,
that sucks.
that's creep. That's ooh.
Oh man.
I mean, his only stuff that I've seen is Until We Win, when he was playing those NES games, and he stopped doing that, so that's pretty much all I've seen of Lord Cat.
Oh, surprisingly, James Rolfe, he's kind of going back up there.
He is?
Yeah, he actually did a new review of Ikari Warriors.
Oh, that's like almost a month ago.
Yeah, but it actually wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I like that one.
You know,
I'm just waiting for the next one.
But that's something that he should do. You know, just go back to the roots. Don't do super crazy skits. Just review games. Do something funny.
Exactly.
You know, maybe take a shit on Bugs Bunny again.
Well, I think he's saving all of that for his movie, probably.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, when does that come out anyway? Kind of
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Does it even have a release date?
No idea. So yeah, but yeah, Microsoft, we're close to kind of wrapping up. It's already been nearly an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But
50 minutes.
Huh?
50 minutes we're on. We started at 10:40.
We started at 10:40.
Yeah.
Don't lie, James.
I'm not lying. I looked at the clock when we started.
Oh, okay. Then I guess we still have a lot more time then.
So we got like 10 more minutes.
Yeah. So going back to Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft really needs to. They need to listen to what the fans are talking about. Because you can't just go and make a console and just cover your ears and just go la 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 la. I can't hear you. I'm going to do my own shit. Sometimes don't go based on what the suits in the game industry are gonna want. I mean, what they want is control.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that control can affect the consumer. I mean, that's what what they care about is their bottom line and their the money in their wallets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're going to find in any way, shape, or form to make sure they get money.
Yeah.
But when it comes to customer service, or just caring about customers in general, that's probably one of the last things that we're caring about. We're not a face. We're not faces. We're wallets to them.
Uh-huh.
And,
but that's how I feel like it's been.
Well, that's how all business works. They want our money, of course.
No, of course. But like,
business to be a company. I mean, this is something that yesterday Mike Z had said that companies exist to make money, but that's no excuse to treat your customers poorly. I mean, like last week, let's look at Atlas and Exy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of customer loyalty, you know. And they're most likely, you know, they're gonna care about their. Wait, James, you still here?
Yep.
Oh, my bad. No, because it says James Corbett left the chat.
Nope.
Probably his twin brother left the chat.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Oh, okay. So, my bad. So, you know, Xseed has some pretty good, you know, customer satisfaction. Same thing with Atlas. You know, you build up, you know, loyalty, you get fans. You know, you don't screw them up the ass every time. And so, and I think Jim Sterling said the same thing of Destructor and Escapist. You know, you be a company. You know, yeah, companies exist to make money, but that's no excuse. You know, that's not, you know, a cure-all for, you know, the bullshit that a company will do. You know, they're going to be like, oh, here's on this DLC. Oh, but we must make money though. We have to make money, otherwise we'll be going down. We're gonna, you know, we're a dying breed, as I think Anthony once said in another podcast, right?
Probably the one we were talking about AAA games, because that's the only way that they need to make all this money is to recoup for the money they're spending on big budget games.
And they really don't need to spend that much. Like I said in last week's, they don't need to spend that much money. They really don't, and that's why. Even Tomb Raider, when Anthony said Tomb Raider is considered a failure in the eyes of Square Enix, I'm like, see, that's problem.
Ridiculous. And Square Enix is, oh my god. And I love how, I don't remember where I read it, but I was doing some research on that whole Tomb Raider issue, and they were pulling up the numbers on the sales made from 13, 13-2, and Tomb Raider. And according to Square Enix, 13 and 13-2 were considered financial successes, but Tomb Raider, like, you know, it reached, because how much did when they announced that it was a failure, does anyone know how many sales they had? Like,
I'm not sure.
How much they made?
I mean, they were still #1 on the charts, and BioShock Infinite hadn't yet come out, so they were. You know, they weren't doing too bad at all.
See, now, the thing is, I don't remember how much Tomb Raider made at the time, but they were comparing...
Wasn't it like $300,000 or $300 million?
I'm not sure how much, but whatever that number is, they were comparing how long it took FF13 and 13-2 to get to that number. 13, I know it took over a year. Over a year to get to how much Tomb Raider sold within what? The 6 weeks it's been out? You know, and it took 13 at least a year, if not more. 13-2, I think it took maybe 7 months. Tomb Raider does that in 6 weeks. It's considered a financial failure, while the other two were considered financial successes. It's kind of fishy.
Just a little bit.
Well, didn't they spend like a crap ton on advertising as well for Tomb Raider? So they had to cover the cost of that.
Yeah, they spent a lot on advertising. I mean, they even have train ads. Like the train station. Yeah, they have a train station ads. I saw a nearby block.
And I've seen I've seen Tomb Raider on the bus. You know.
Like I'm actually surprised that as somewhere like the South Bronx has a Tomb Raider ad. I'm like, wow, somebody actually had.
Yeah, I saw it over at West Farms. I saw one of the buses. I was like, oh snap, Tomb Raider.
Okay, speaking of buses, have you seen this one Tomb Raider ad on a London bus that they actually? It was like a fragmented picture, and the arm extending. No, Orkov has her arm extended, and the that extended arm is a separate segment. They accidentally put that one upside down, so it looks like she has a severed arm aiming at herself.
Okay. That's creepy.
It's funny to say the least.
But yeah, it's still, it's just depressing. I mean, I know they did a lot with marketing, but still, at least with the first 13, they were, you know, I'm sure they didn't market it as much, but they still marketed the first 13 adequate amount, I think. It's just they don't want to admit their failures with Final Fantasy because it's Final Fantasy. They can't admit that they did anything wrong. So
I mean, you
But
think there might be a problem with what's his name, Yoichi Wada?
I mean that
Because he stepped down after all that stuff that happened with Square Enix. He stepped down, and now someone else is taking his place.
let's see what happens, but I really hope this doesn't negatively affect Tomb Raider's future, because I still haven't played the game, but I don't. With the word of mouth, going around, it's a solid title that deserves to keep being looked at. And just because these guys can, maybe they had the wrong estimates. They expected too much. They spent too much on advertising. I don't know.
Maybe.
But the point is, it was while they consider it not financially successful in the eyes of the gamers and the audience, it's a hit. So it would be kind of silly not to follow up on that now that you have that audience, that install base now.
I want to see a Legacy of Kain reboot, actually. Crystal Dynamics makes some great games. And apparently, the quality is continuing even now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, about that, they have registered a domain. I think it's called War of Nosgoth.
Oh my god.
Ain't that a location in
Yes.
Soul Reaver?
Oh, it's General Legacy of Kain. It's even in the Blood Omen games.
Oh, so yeah, they actually want Is that a town or a world? It's been a
It's
while.
the world.
Okay, so yeah, it's been a while since I played Soul Reaver,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, they registered that domain, so who knows? There actually might be a new Legacy of Kain game coming out.
I so hope so. That would be like Drakengard 3 all over again.
That was still a crazy surprise.
Hell yeah. Guy comes back from obscurity, quit making games. Somebody calls Drakengard 3. I'm back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ooh.
That's the kind of new.
Oh, no, we were talking about this yesterday, or either yesterday or Wednesday, but me and James thought they should bring back a Square Enix Square USA
Mm-hmm.
to make
Secret of Evermore.
Yep.
Secret of Evermore.
If we got a Secret of Evermore sequel,
Yo, that would be great.
Oh, freaking rock! They wanted to do it. That end.
Yes.
The eyes.
it was a cliffhanger, a
eyes.
terrible cliffhanger.
You saw the They were totally gonna do a sequel.
But then, is it poorly when it got released in the West, or when they released it?
What was
I
that?
believe Secret of Evermore.
What about it again?
Didn't it sell poorly back then?
Probably did. I didn't buy a copy until like 4 years ago, maybe.
Because everyone knew that it was being made by a I think a California-based developer or just a Western-based developer in America.
Well, I didn't know that. It just looked like a knockoff Secret of Mana to me.
Well, it used relatively the same engine. That's why I played like Secret
Yeah,
of
it's the
Mana.
exact same engine, I think.
But it would be great though. I mean, to have that game come out. I mean, all these games we always want to talk about. Oh, we must have co-op in our games. That's a perfect co-op game.
There we go.
It's you and the dog.
Well, originally, it doesn't have two-player functions. They had to hack it in, so the only way we could play Secret of Evermore 2 players is via ROM with a patch.
No, I know that part.
Yeah,
But, strangely, it is a single-player game. But, bring it back, have one person be the dog and another one be the boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's how we played it. It was awesome.
Exactly.
Good times.
And the location of that, wasn't that like a modern city landscape almost in Secret of Evermore?
No, not at all.
Well, at first, I remember the intro. It kind of looked like he was in a movie theater or something. Then he got transported to some place.
It was a movie theater, but it still felt a little futuristic.
Yeah. But that was still just for the intro.
Yeah, it was. You know how it is. It's not modern, but it's not super high tech. It's kind of, I mean, when you look at the layout, I guess it kind of looks cyberpunk-y, where it's just kind of slummy, but still looks technologically advanced.
So kind of like a retro futuristic almost, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. But that would be cool though. Bring back Secret of Evermore. Maybe make it
that dog, man.
Oh
make it
yeah.
a 3DS game maybe.
Huh.
Or
Well, I'm still a little iffy on 3DS multiplayer, to be honest.
Ooh.
what about or maybe asymmetrical multiplayer on the Wii U,
That would work, actually. I'd do that.
or PS Vita and PS4 crossplay.
When I buy a Vita eventually.
Well, Anthony has a Vita.
Yo.
Give him a copy that might come with that. If these guys
Sorry, you have one.
Wait, who has one?
It's a nice piece of hardware. It just needs support, sadly.
Well, it has the support, Soul Sacrifice. It just either needs a new model with TV output or a price drop.
It needs more support. You can't count one game as support. It has a couple of good games. Like I said before, Gravity Rush was great. I haven't played Uncharted yet, but I heard it was really good. It has Persona 4 Golden. I don't have to say anything about that. And
I saw it today on Cheap Ass Gamer. They had a copy of Luminous, the Vita one, on sale from a vendor for like $13.
Oh, Electronic Symphony.
Yeah.
See, Luminous.
I almost bought it, even though I don't own a Vita. But yeah.
Exactly.
Wait,
But the only big games.
You had to tear him away from that, right?
Oh yeah, I remember way back when, before we knew much about the Vita, James was ready to buy one just for Luminous. Good times.
And Uncharted. That was a launch game too.
But Luminous is what had you though.
Yeah, it had me by the balls.
Oh yeah, we had to pry those off for them, man. It was nuts.
And now I can't play Soul Sacrifice with you guys.
No. See, but that's the thing. It needs more support. The only big games for Vita that I know right now that are coming out that I'm actually interested in, Soul Sacrifice, which is at the end, around the end of the month on the 20th, and then the new East game, which should come out on my birthday actually, September 24th. So those are the two big games I can't wait for. And then I still have Persona to look forward to eventually when I buy it on sale or something. But I want to see more because again, the hardware is great. I really like the Vita, just from a handheld perspective. But the developers are all jumping ship. That's the problem.
Yeah. Sucks.
But let's see if Xseed can keep it going. Hopefully they'll continue the Trail in the Sky series on the Vita, maybe. But I can't complain. We're getting the East game, so Xseed is doing their part, and we got Persona 4, so Atlas is doing theirs.
Yep. It's all up to the consumers now.
Alright, and more developers got to join the fray.
Well, I hear Sony's wooing a lot of the indie market now, so maybe they might.
They're more in the indie market, but at the same time, they're scrapping all these studios that I was like, all right, they got a Wipeout game for Vita, cool, bam. Let's get rid of the studio. And that's not the only they shut down another studio right before that too. I forget which one. But I was getting tight because every week I'm like, man, okay, Sony shut down somebody else. For guys who need to get games on their handheld, why are you firing all the people who can make games for your handheld? Jeez.
Ah man, hopefully these closures will stop. That's the thing. This generation, I think, has been more volatile when it comes to studio closures. I mean, with the whole LucasArts thing, CHQ. Hopefully next generation we see a change, and Microsoft is not leading the charge unless they change their their outlook, because it's very anti-consumer and very greedy, very suit happy, kind of thing. And I really hope they, if they continue with this route, Microsoft, I don't wish bad on you, but
I wish all the bad in the world for you.
But for me personally, I mean, you best just get out. Unless they change their outlook, if they decide to do no online, then I'm like, okay, good, no always online. Oh, bullcrap. Now I want to see what you're going to do with your console. But if you're going to have always online, sorry, bro, I can't go behind you. I mean, I can't get behind you. Wait, I can't. Damn it. Everything sounds like that. I cannot support you. There we go.
At least you didn't say something like, I can't connect with you anymore.
Yeah.
Like some kind of bad pun.
Alright then, so, do we wrap up? We're close to that mark.
Yeah. Yep, we passed. We're good.
Okay then. So then, guys, thank you for joining us for this episode of the Wired Fish podcast. Do remember you can go to our main site, thewiredfishnetwork.com. You can follow us on Facebook via the Wiredfish social link at facebook.com/thewiredfish. You can also check out the Wiredfish Network Extend, which is on Tumblr. If you have a Tumblr account, go ahead and follow that. It's thewiredfish.tumblr.com. From time to time, James also does live streams on his Twitch account, which is twitch.tv/weeklyinfinity.
Just be Bioshock Infinite, looking for a new game to play right now until my Ouya comes in.
Yep.
Don't you have to finish Nino Kuni?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
You're welcome.
Back to Nino
Seriously,
Kuni.
Walking Dead.
Huh?
I'll get to that.
Oh, snap.
Once it goes on sale, Walking Dead is on my radar.
My bad.
$30.
Huh?
It's already like $30. It's a good deal.
Forget good deal. We could have gotten it for $8.50. I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Telltale likes to do sales though, so it'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, once the pre-recorders hear this, they'll realize, oh wait, no longer applies.
Uh-huh.
Our pre-recorded viewers, we apologize for that.
Sorry.
Alright then, guys. So then, fellow fishes, until next time, stay safe out there.
I love you.
Catch you later.
Thank you.